Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another game of Strat-O-Matic baseball. Give me just a moment here. Mookie springboarded from the other laptop to his tower and hit the power button, so he took the laptop down. So I need to get my stats back up for the teams so that we can look at their stats as we're doing the replay. This will only take a second. I've got most of it back up. I just need to open the stat pages for St. Louis and Cincinnati, which is our game today. And of course, a special treat always, for me at least, I can tell you right now, to have the legendary Bob Gibson on the mound. And he'll be opposed by Jim O'Toole. What was Cincinnati like? What did they have? They had some excellent museums. Oh, Thomas has covered that. Yeah, I've never been. They're known for their museums. Can anybody speak to that firsthand? Has anyone been? Thomas seems to be well versed on Cincinnati there. Hello, Thomas Franklin. Ben, hello, Kenyon. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Jeffrey. I saw that, Kenyon. Yeah, the big 280. That was a big number. Wow. Who'd have thunk? Not me when I started this. Mookie's kind of out of control right now, so all bets are off as far as him jumping onto the field. The Beatles played there in '66. Yeah. And I think they played in the baseball field, didn't they? They played at Forbes, right? No, Crosley, excuse me. Forbes was Pittsburgh, wasn't it? Forbes. I think it was. I could be wrong. Yeah, I just looked that up. The Beatles played Cincinnati in 1966. How about that? Oh, Thomas has been many times. Music Hall, the Zoo. Yep, Forbes was Pittsburgh. Thank you. Crosley. Yeah, I think that's where the Beatles played, wasn't it? They would have had to play somewhere big. I know they played Shea Stadium in New York. Well, everybody knows that pretty much. In our age group, at least, I should say. Okay, let's look at the cards here. I'll give you the numbers on these guys for the replay so far. I can tell you Gibson's been outstanding. And okay, struggling with my vision today. That's too bad. We'll get there. Wow. Okay. Bob Gibson, 6-2, 2.15 ERA in 8 starts. He's gone the distance in 5 of the 8. 67 innings, 48 hits allowed, 63 strikeouts. The numbers spectacular across the board in the replay so far for Bob Gibson. For O'Toole, 2-2 with a 4.07. This will be his 5th start. 24 innings, 27 hits, 13 strikeouts. O'Toole, a fine pitcher. This wasn't his best year, but it certainly wasn't a bad year. A 3.55 ERA, and I'll tell you, with 142 innings, if I had to guess, I would say that he had some health issues that limited his appearances that year. He only made 24 starts. Let's take a look real quick and see where O'Toole was at this point in his career. I know he had some big years. Was he near the end by 66? Let's take a look. Yeah, he was. He would only pitch one more season. And he was only 29 years old this year. A workhorse between 1961 and 1964. Then his workload dropped way off in 65 and again in 66. So my guess is he had some arm problems or some kind of injury that shortened his career. And greetings to Ben as well, if I did not say that already. Hard to keep track for me these days. Yeah, for sure, Ben. You would think with the years he had, he would have had a much longer career. So we've got O'Toole today. Give me just a second to get organized here. I'll give you the lineup for the Cardinals. I had to shut that thermostat down again. It's that time of year, and we've got an air quality alert in Spokane. I've got my air purifiers out, which for some reason Mookie is extremely amused by. He keeps playing with the air purifier in the living room. Okay, St. Louis lineup. Julian Javier leads it off at second base. Mike Shannon in right field hits second. Kurt Flood in center in the 3 spot. Orlando Cepeda will bat cleanup and play first base. Charlie Smith at third base hits fifth. Tim McCarver, the catcher, hitting 6th. Jerry Buchek at short, hitting 7th. Bobby Tolan will be in left field, batting 8th, and Gibson, the pitcher, hits 9th. The Reds defensively have Johnny Edwards doing the catching. First baseman will be Pavletic. Rose and Cardenas up the middle with Tommy Helms down at third. The outfield left to right is Johnson, Pinson, and Shamsky. Thank you, Thomas. Quick response there on the research there. Appreciate that. Arm trouble in 67. Looks like it even started in 65 when he only worked 127 innings. Tried to make a comeback with the Pilots, but didn't make it. I know he has a really great card in the Strat-O-Matic ATG set in the 365 online version of the game. I've used it before. And with that, we're ready to go here on a Sunday. Hey, how's everybody's weekend going? I had a good day yesterday. Got this knee flaring up again, but as long as I'm sitting, that's certainly not a problem. Okay, here's Javier now to lead things off. Julian's struggling at the start of this 1966 season. Just 20 for 125. That's a 160 batting average. 3 home runs. O'Toole, the left-hander, gets his sign. The pitch is a 3-6 left-handed, and he pops him up on the left side. Cardenas will take it, and we are underway. 1 down. I'm going to play with the lighting here for a minute. Yeah, I kind of like that cooler lighting today. It's weird how different lighting on different days are these old eyes. That's making everything clearer. Oh yeah, it's 44, very cool here, cloudy, ugly. But I'm more nice and warm inside, playing some Strat-O-Matic baseball. So I want to thank you all for joining me. Here's Mike Shannon now. Shannon batting just .212, 4 homers, 6 RBIs. O'Toole into the windup. That's going to be a 1-4 left-handed. Little comebacker. O'Toole will take it, flips to Pavletic. And there's 2 away. Oh yeah, that's much better. Here's Kurt Flood now. Flood hitting .288, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. O'Toole into the windup. Here's the pitch to Flood is a 3-6 left-hander. He bangs a base hit up the middle. A 2-out single for Flood. Flood, a star 15 stealer. He's been a little unlucky trying to steal so far this year. He's stolen 3, but he's been caught 4 times. Let's check the battery. O'Toole is 0. Edwards a 0. So Flood of 15, he'll be held at 13. And with Orlando Cepeda up, he will stay at first for the time being. Cepeda hitting .250 with the Cardinals. Just one home run so far. Good power on the card, especially against lefties. O'Toole out of the stretch. It's a 2-7 lefty, a grounder down to third base. Helms will take it and throw him out, side retired. No runs a hit, one left after half an inning of play. St. Louis nothing. Cincinnati coming to bat. And as Bob Gibson warms up, let's go over the Reds lineup here. Same lineup as last game, actually. It's Tommy Helms at third base leading off. Pete Rose at second base hit second. Vada Pinson in center in the 3 spot. Don Pavletic at first base hits cleanup. Art Shamsky is in right field batting 5th. Darren Johnson in left hits 6th. Leo Cardenas, the shortstop, 7th. Johnny Edwards will catch and hit 8th, with O'Toole, the pitcher, hitting 9th. St. Louis defensively, they line up like this. It's McCarver catching, Cepeda at first, Javier and Buchek up the middle, Charlie Smith down at third, and the outfield left to right, Tolan, Flood, and Shannon. Holy crap, Kenyon. Hang on, I gotta slide down and read all of this. I picked Cardenas came at O'Toole with an ice pick. Joey J saved the day. Holy crap. All right then. Shoo. Certainly was a different game then, wasn't it, guys? Wow. St. Louis coming into this game at 17-15. The Reds in last place at 11-20. This is the third game of a 3-game set. These teams split the first 2, so this is the rubber game. Helms steps into the batter's box, right-handed hitter leading things off against the great Bob Gibson. Helms batting .291 on the year, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs. Gibson gets the sign from McCarver. 5-2 righty is a fly ball into right field. Shannon is there. And there's one away. No Christmas cards for you and no soup. Here's Pete Rose now. .264, 2 homers, 8 RBIs. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Here's the pitch from Gibson. That's a 1-3 right-handed, and Rose draws the walk. Rose works out the walk. Not a threat to steal. Gibson a -1. McCarver a -1, so that's -2. Rose not a star stealer. He'd be an 11. And, of course, with 7, 8, and 11 automatically caught, I can't imagine him attempting the lead. I wonder what his numbers were that season. He stole 4 and was caught 9. It's safe to say that will not happen in my replay. I can't even see him rolling for the lead. Okay, here's Pinson. Pinson, .248, 3 homers, a team-leading 19 RBIs. Gibson out of the stretch now. That's going to be a 1-4 right-hander. This foul ball, right side, Cepeda drifting over by the stands, reaches in and makes the catch. Two away, and here's Pavletic. Pavletic at .226 on the season, a pair of homers, 6 RBIs. Gibson set to work now. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-6 right-handed. It's a high fly ball to left center field. Flood and Tolan converge. It is gone. Don Pavletic has just put the Reds out in front, 2-0, with a 2-run home run on a 2-6 righty, no doubt about it. His 3rd home run of the season. Rose scores ahead of him. On the first pitch, it's an ambush by Pavletic. Gibson stoic, not showing any emotion. And here's Shamsky. Just 7 for 50 so far. It's a 140 average. 3 of those 7 hits home runs, however. The pitch from Gibson is a 5-3 left-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep right field. Going back is Shannon at the track, at the wall. It's gone. And the Reds go back-to-back off of Bob Gibson here in the first inning. Holy cow, that's number 4 for Shamsky. It's 3-0 Cincinnati. So a surprise to me and probably all of you guys too, I would imagine. The Reds jump all over Gibson here in the first, and here's Darren Johnson. Yeah, it can happen to any pitcher, no matter how good the card is. The pitch to Johnson is a 6-4 right-hander. That's a grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be Buchek, a 4E56. Hold your breath on this one. And we got a die off the table. That's going to be a re-roll. 4E56. On an 8, it's the E rating. It's an 8, and he makes an error. That's an error on Buchek. Johnson will reach. Johnson aboard on the 2-out error. And I can't say it any better than Kenyon just did there. Both things are true. Here's Cardenas now. Cardenas 211 on the year, 4 homers, 14 RBIs. Gibson staring in. Here's the pitch. It's a 6-2 right-handed. Struck him out. That's the inning. But 3 runs for the Reds on 2 hits. They leave 1. 2 home run, back-to-back home runs off of Bob Gibson. We've played an inning. It's 3-0 Cincinnati. So here's O'Toole now, staked to a 3-run lead. Keep in mind that Cincinnati came into this game batting just .214 as a team. They're in last place, as mentioned earlier, 11-20 record, 25 home runs. That's 2 more homers than the Cardinals have hit. They hit only 23. That's one reason they traded for Orlando Cepeda. But batting average, a big contrast. They're batting .267 as a club compared to the .214 for Cincinnati. Okay, so here's Charlie Smith to lead off the second. Smith hitting .317 so far, 2 homers, 11 RBIs. O'Toole gets the sign from Edwards. Here's the pitch. That's a 1-9 left-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout for O'Toole. And here comes McCarver. McCarver, .363 so far, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. He has 12 extra base hits, which includes 6 triples. Left on left, O'Toole delivers. 3-5, grounder to short. That's routine for Cardenas, who throws him out. And quickly 2 away. Here's Buchek now, the leading hitter on the club at .378, 2 home runs, and a team-leading 16 RBIs. The pitch from O'Toole, 1-4 left-handed, foul ball back of the plate. Edwards goes back, drops the mask, and makes the catch. It's an easy inning for Jim O'Toole. And there's Robbie. Welcome, Robbie. Robbie for the Cardinals. Cardinal Gibson off to a rough start here, Robbie. Back-to-back homers in the first by Pavletic and Shamsky. Yeah, Buchek with 9 errors. I think that leads the league, in fact. I could look it up. Here's Edwards to lead off the bottom of the second. Johnny Edwards, the left-handed hitting catcher, comes in at 215, 2 homers, 8 RBIs. Gibson into the windup. 5-4, left-handed, a shallow fly to center field. Flood comes in and makes the grab. Flood, tremendous range out there. He made that look pretty easy. And here's O'Toole. He's a switch hitter, so he'll be batting lefty against Gibson. And here's the pitch on a 1-6, struck him out. Second K for Gibson. 2 down, and here's Helms. Helms 0 for 1. Gibson into the windup. That's a 1-6 right-handed. It's a base hit up the middle for Tommy Helms. Third Cincinnati hit of the day. And that'll bring up Pete Rose. Rose walked his first time up today. Gibson, throw to first. Helms back to the bag. Now set. Here's the pitch to Pete. That's a 1-3 right-handed, and he walks him. Ball 4. So Gibson not really looking all that Gibson-like so far today. Oh, he could straighten it out all right. First and second, 2 down. Here's Vada Pinson. Probably the Reds' best player overall. Here's the pitch from Gibson now. It's a 5-11 left-handed. That's a foul ball behind the plate. McCarver goes back and makes the catch, and that will do it in the second. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We've played 2 innings. 3-0 Reds. Whoops, no, I blew it. Hang on. Stop. Thank you, Ben. What did I do? That's a 5-11 for Pinson. Not a 2-11. Okay, right. I can see it right in front of me. 5-11. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. My apologies, guys. Looking at that now, it's weird, isn't it? I have no idea how I see that as a 2 at any point. Good grief. All right. Well, let's review. Let's redo that play. We won't redo the roll, of course. It's a 5-11. It's actually a fly ball to right field X. That's going to be a tough play for Shannon, but he's a good outfielder, a 2E5. The roll on the play is a 19, and he puts it away to retire the side. So that'll be a 9X rather than an F2. Pinson retired, and after 2 innings of play, it's 3-0. Thank you very much, Ben. I'm going back to catch the chat I missed now. Only when I have 2 strikes. Yeah, that makes sense. I think he was I kind of think Gibson was on the attack from the very first pitch, though, don't you? I don't think he was ever trying to nibble at the corners, let's put it that way. That's another difference between then and now, right? I mean, there were times in the old days, pitchers would just fire one right down the middle if they needed to. Yeah, I got to throw a strike here, I'm going to put it right down the middle. Today's game, they're constantly at the edges. They don't want to put anything ever in the heart of the plate. 3-0 Reds as we move along to the third inning. It'll be Bobby Tolan to start things off here against Jim O'Toole. Tolan 0 for 13 on the season, looking for his first hit. He walked once. 3 strikeouts, left on left, and you can see there's not much there. O'Toole's pitch at 2-7, swung on and missed strike 3. Not all that surprising, is it? Tolan really appears overmatched here by O'Toole. And here's Gibson, right-handed batter with end power. The pitch to O'Toole is a 2-7 righty, swung on and missed strike 3. Third strikeout for O'Toole. He fans 2 in a row to open the third, and here's Julian Javier. Javier popped to short his first time up. The pitch from O'Toole. 3-7 left-handed. That's a slow roller to short. Cardenas comes in on it, makes the play, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for O'Toole, who's now retired 7 in a row. Exactly. And yeah, he was a fast worker. Give me the ball, I'll throw it. Reds up in the bottom of the third. Don Pavletic will start it off. Pavletic, of course, with a 2-run homer his first time up. Boy, I wouldn't be surprised if he saw some chin music right here. Here's the pitch from Gibson. That's a 4-7 right-handed. Instead, he walks him. So Gibson still trying to find his command. That's the third walk of the day issued by Gibson. All very un-Gibson-like. Exactly, Kenyon. And Ben. That brings up Shamsky, who homered his first time up. Gibson disdains the stretch. He figures Pavletic isn't going anywhere anyway. The full wind-up, the pitch to Shamsky, 2-7 right-handed, and he walks him. Back-to-back walks to the 2 hitters that homered off of him the first time through. That's 4 walks for Bob Gibson. That's 2 games worth, and we're only in the third. Just as a point of reference, Gibson came into the game in 67 innings. He'd walked 20 and struck out 63. Even the 20 to me sounds high. Now I got to look at the card. 280 innings, 78 walks, 225 strikeouts. So the Reds threatening again here in the bottom of the third. First and second, nobody out. And here's Darren Johnson. I'll say what, Robbie? Here's the pitch to Johnson. 2-10 righty. It's a ground ball to second base. Javier to his left. His only play is to first. Both runners will advance on the ground ball C. No, we're not, Ben. I'm kind of disappointed. How about you guys? I mean, I have no qualms with Cincinnati winning a game. They need it. But anytime you have a Gibson or a Marichal or a Koufax on the mound, you're really looking forward to seeing a dominant pitching performance. And we're sure not seeing that today from Gibson. I'm always looking forward to the new set, Jeffrey. The pitching coach is coming out now because apparently McCarver doesn't want to. He's had these run-ins with Gibson in the past. One out, second and third, trailing already by 3. They're going to bring the infield in for Cardenas, who's a B bunter, pretty good bat handler. Gibson ready to work now. Here's the windup. The pitch to Cardenas is a 2-8. He pops him up. Infield fly rule. Buchek will take it. That's a big out for Gibson. Runners can't move. And here's Edwards. O'Toole on deck. You could put Edwards on. That to me just doesn't seem like that would be Gibson's style. He's going to go after him. The pitch to Edwards is a 1-10 fly ball into straightaway left field. Tolan barely has to move, and he puts it away to end the inning. So 2 walks to start the inning. Gibson pitches around it. After 3 innings of play, it's 3-0 Cincinnati. Only 3 innings, just getting underway, folks. On, for me anyway, a very lazy Sunday afternoon. Anybody's game still. O'Toole, though, so far has been fantastic. Just 1 single allowed. He struck out 3. Shannon, Flood, and Cepeda do. O'Toole set now. Here's the windup. Pitch to Mike Shannon is a 6'4" right-handed. That's a grounder to third base X. That's going to be Helms, a good third baseman, 2E19. Here's the play on an 11. That'll be the E rating. It's the roll of a 10 on a 19, and he makes the play and throws him out. Nice play, Tommy Helms. That's 5-3X. I'm in Washington, and I do not fall back. This speaks to my personality, okay, because I do not let idiotic government arbitrary BS tell me what time of day it is. There's a good reason for it, actually. It's because it gets dark here so early. I used to get very depressed when it was dark by 10 minutes after 3. So at least now it's, in my mind anyway, it's 10 minutes after 4 at the worst part of winter. A little bit more palatable. Here's Flood. Oh, I was a troublemaker at work too. Don't worry about that. Flood 1 for 1. 3-8. Left-handed. Base hit into center field. Curt Flood, his second hit of the game. In fact, he has both of the Cardinal hits today. Star 15 Steeler held at 13. I can believe that where you are. My cousin in Sarasota and his fiance, they've got their house on the market. They're going to move back to Washington. He says he can't wait to get out of Florida. Here's Cepeda. Runner at first, 1 down. O'Toole from the stretch. That's a 1-8 lefty. It's a 2-star single. Flood keeps running, and he'll go all the way to third. So St. Louis has something going here in the 4th. First and third, 1 out. Charlie Smith, the batter. Yeah, looks like it's Sacramento for now. I really kind of think Sacramento would be a better landing spot long-term than Las Vegas. But as we've discussed before, they really don't have a ballpark for it. Here's Charlie Smith. He struck out his first time. Infield at double play depth with one down. The pitch from O'Toole to Smith is a 5-9 right-handed. It's a ground ball to short X. That could be two. Cardenas is a good shortstop. 2E16. Here's the play on a 7. He's got it. He goes to Rose for 1, and that's all they'll get. A run will score on the force. That's going to be 6-4X. Cepeda is forced. Flood crosses the plate to make it 3-1. And with 2 away, Tim McCarver will be the hitter. Left on left, McCarver set. O'Toole set. The pitch to McCarver. 1-6, base hit into right field. A clean single. It's open. That means that a Smith could try to go to third. A very slow runner, however. 1-10, 2 outs, 12. Shamsky is 0. They'll hold him at second. Smith, not much speed on the bases. You don't want to risk him being thrown out at third with 2 down. And here's the team's leading hitter, Jerry Buchek. Fouled to the catcher his first time up. 3-1 Reds. O'Toole in a bit of a jam here in the fourth. As he comes set, the pitch to Buchek is a 6-7 right-handed, and he walks him to load the bases. Oh my. Now we've got some drama. Unfortunately for St. Louis, however, the batter will be Bobby Tolan. Not really sure why Tolan was in the lineup against O'Toole when you look at the card. But he was, and he is. Bases loaded, 2 out. Here's the pitch. 2-12. It's a liner to second. Rose grabs it. It's a Lomax. In this case, Max is 1. And that will do it for the Cardinals in the fourth. They do get a run on 3 hits, but they leave the bases loaded. So you got to feel like they wasted a huge opportunity there. Exactly, Ben. I don't think that would ever happen. Maybe if you'd given up 7 runs instead of 3, right? My thoughts exactly, Jeffrey. Gibson just settling in. An S9. These guys tend to get stronger as the game goes on. Bottom of the fourth, O'Toole will lead it off, batting at lefty. Gibson's pitch on a 1-5 struck him out. O'Toole completely overmatched by Gibson. And here's Tommy Helms. Helms 1 for 2. Gibson into the windup. 6-7 right-handed as a grounder to second base X. That's Javier. He's a good second baseman. 2E15. Here's the play. That's a 2. He's not going to get it. Oh my God, that gets under his glove and into right field for a single. That would have been a tough play for anybody. And Helms aboard with his second hit of the afternoon. Here's Rose, who's walked twice in this game so far. Gibson now working from a stretch. 4-11 left-handed as a fly ball to left field X. That's going to be Tolan. Tolan a 3E15. Here's the play on a 6. He's not going to get to that. That's a single 2 stars. Helms to third. So a little bad luck for Gibson here in the fourth. Runners at the corners, one away, and it's Pinson. Gibson really not sharp today. Checks the runners. Here's the pitch to Pinson. Infield back. That's a 1-7 grounder to second base. That's going to be two. It's Javier to Buchek to Cepeda. And the 4-6-3 double play bails Gibson out, and that's the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. We've played 4. 3-1 Cincinnati. Anybody's game through 4. I'm going to top off my coffee. Yeah, you're no worse than me, Jeffrey. It's I say some weird things too. Yeah, I've been accused of pretty much everyone who knows me of having a rather dark sense of humor, and I suppose that's true. Certainly an irreverent sense of humor, at the very least. Gibson will bat in the 5th. O'Toole with the pitch. It's a 6-12 grounder to first base X. That's Pavletic. Pavletic a 4-E-15 as he ranges to his right. On a 5, that's down the line. He can't get it. That's into the corner. Gibson rounds and goes into second with a leadoff double. And he says, and that's why you don't pinch hit for me. A leadoff double by Gibson. O'Toole, by the way, is 6-rated starter for endurance. And the top of the lineup coming up, here's Javier. He has popped to short, grounded to short. O'Toole into the windup. Pitch to Julian is a 6-8 right-handed. That's a single to 4, but on a 9, that liner is speared by Cardenas at short. That's the first out. And here's Mike Shannon. Well, glad to have you, Astros Reefer. It's a football crowd today. I say that meaning I only see 10 people in the chat. I assume a lot of people are watching football today. I don't even know if there's anything on, as I really don't follow it. Here's Shannon 0 for 2. O'Toole. 6'9" right-handed. That's a double to 19. That is a double for Shannon. That'll knock in Gibson, and that makes it a 3-2 ball game. RBI double for Shannon. On a 6'9" to 19, the roll was a 5. And now the tying run in scoring position. 1 away, and here's Flood. 2 doubles in the inning off of O'Toole. That's the 6th hit he's allowed. And that's going to send Johnny Edwards out to the mound. Yes, indeed. How about that laser? Okay, the meeting on the mound broken up now. Frank Sikori says, let's go, guys. I do watch some basketball. but not a whole lot. I can't say I'm a huge fan or even very knowledgeable. Flood's 2 for 2 today. He's got the tying run at second. Let's check Shannon's speed. He's solid. He's a 1 through 14 runner. Flood trying to pick him up. O'Toole trying to get out of this jam. And here's the pitch. On a 2-5 lefty, it's a grounder to short. Cardenas has it, looks the runner back, and throws him out. It'll be up to Orlando. 1 for 2 today. Whew, boy. Okay. Tense game here today. Gibson rocked for 3 runs in the first. Cardinals trying to claw their way back into this one. O'Toole into the windup. It's a 6-11 right-hander. That's a base hit into center field. That's an open single. Shannon can try to come home on that. He's a 14 with 2 outs, 16. Pinson with a -2 arm, 14. They're going to send him. It's the tying run. Here's Pinson's throw to the plate. He scores. Cepeda will stay at first on the RBI single. Shannon scores, and we've got a tie ball game. How about that? Cepeda, despite not being a good runner, is an asterisk stealer. Star 15. He'll have to be held at 13. And here's Smith. Smith 0 for 2 on the day. Action now in the Cincinnati pen is Don Notabart throwing down there. Okay, let's see what happens. O'Toole versus Charlie Smith from the stretch. It's a 5-12 right-hander. That's a grounder to first base X. Pavletic's going to be tested again, a 4E15. Here's the play. It's the E range of a 9 on a 15. He makes the play. Flips to O'Toole covering, and that will retire the side. 3-1X. Ends the inning. The Cardinals score 2 runs to tie it. 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave a man. Yeah, I see that, Jeffrey. I mean, it looks like the 1 through 11 speed, which I honestly think could be incorrect. Maybe that was his speed that year. In other words, a sore leg or something like that hampered him a little bit in 1966. I don't really know. But the fact is, there are a lot of players who didn't necessarily run well that were adept at stealing a base. So Gibson batted for himself in the 5th. He doubled and scored, remains in the game, and now the game is tied. Pavletic will lead it off. He's homered and walked so far. Gibson, wind up and pitch. 2-11 right-handed. There's a deep fly ball to left field. Tolan goes back on the track to haul it in. So Pavletic gave it a ride. That's just a long out to left. And I call it that, of course, because if I were playing ballpark effects, that would be a diamond, right? So he hit it pretty well. Stays in the park, however, with 1 out. The batter will be Shamsky, also homered and walked. That's true, Ben. I do that all the time. I'm always dating myself, basically because I'm the only person that will go out with me. Gibson with the pitch to Shamsky. It's a 1-8 single to 11. That's down for a base hit. And Shamsky's been aboard all 3 times today. Here's Johnson. He's 0 for 2. Gibson Looking very intense out there right now. Of course, when isn't he? From the stretch, the pitch to DJ is a 1-6 right-handed. It's a high fly ball deep left field. Back is Tolan. He leaps, and it is gone. Home run, Darren Johnson. A 2-run blast. The 3rd home run of the day for Cincinnati. It makes it 5-3, and the Reds take the lead right back. For Darren Johnson, that is his 6th home run of the season. It's kind of bittersweet, I would think, isn't it, Jeffrey? I think DJ is a favorite of yours, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously not against the Cardinals. So here's Cardenas. Gibson just not looking like Gibson today. Here's the pitch to Leo. It's a 2-10 right-handed. That is a high fly ball to deep left field. Drifting back is Tolan. He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps up, and he's got it on a 19. He makes the catch at the wall on a homer 1-18. Tolan brings it back. That could have easily been another home run. 2 down, and here's Edwards. The pitch from Gibson, 4-9 left-handed, and he loses him ball 4. Wow. I have to tell you, I'm kind of shocked. With a 2-run lead now, O'Toole's going to bat. Left-handed batter. It's a 2-5 righty. He struck him out 3rd time today. But 2 more for the Reds on a 2-run blast by Darren Johnson through 5 innings of play. Reds lead at 5-3. Exactly. If you're yes, Ben, they're robbing the home run rule, which a couple of my Windows leagues do use. So I've seen it. Much easier, of course, in the Windows game because they figure, they do all the figuring for you. This has got to be Gibson's worst start of the season. Cardinals, however, can get right back in it. We know that. They'll be sending up McCarver, Buchek, and Tolan against Jim O'Toole here in the 6th. Whew. Okay, O'Toole into the windup. Pitch to McCarver, a 6-11 left-handed, is a lazy fly ball into center. Pinson barely has to move and grabs it for out number 1. Well, that's interesting, Ben. That I did not know about. 1 down, here's Buchek, 0 for 1 with a walk. O'Toole gets the sign from Edwards. That's a 1-9 left-handed. It's a grounder down to 3rd base. Helms has it, throws him out, and quickly there's 2 away in the 6th. And that'll bring up Tolan. Tolan made that fine grab in the bottom of the 5th. Left on left, O'Toole delivers a 5-7 left-handed as a ground ball to second base X. That will be Rose. Rose ranging behind the bag, a 2E17. On an 8, it's the E range. It's a 7 on a 17, and he has it and throws him out, and that's the inning. 4-3X, 1-2-3 inning for O'Toole. $1958. My memory, I tell you what, I'm trying to think of who was in the series that year, and I can't. Absolutely, Franklin. That was Milwaukee. Thank you, Kenyon. And when did they move to Atlanta? It must have been not long after that, I'd have to think. Gibson will face the top of the Reds' order here in the bottom of the 6th. Helms is 2 for 3 on the day. Gibson into the windup. It's a 6-7 right-hander, a grounder to second base X. That's Javier. 2E15. On a 6, nice stop by Javier. Throws him out, 1 down. So 65, 66. So this replay I'm doing was the first year the Braves were in Atlanta. Is that correct? How about that? I didn't know that. I kind of feel like I should know that. And I'm going to blame that on age-appropriate memory. Okay, here's Rose. He's not been retired today. He's walked twice and singled. Gibson gets the sign. The windup. The pitch is a 3-4 right-handed. It's a fly ball into left field. Rose goes the other way with it. There's Tolan to make the grab, and there's 2 down. And this will probably be it for Gibson. He's due to lead off the 7th. As he goes into the windup, the pitch to Pinson is a 3-3 righty. It's a base hit into right field. Pinson's first hit of the day. Pinson a star 15. He's a 13 not held. They will not hold him. Instead, Pavletic will swing away. And here's Gibson's pitch. It's a 4-9 right-handed. Single to 18. That's knocked down at third by Smith on a 3, but he has no play. That'll go as an infield single. Pinson stopping at second. So very disappointing for people who tuned in hoping to see a dominant performance by the great Bob Gibson. He just has not had it today. And with 2 outs, the batter will be Shamsky, who he's yet to get out. He's homered, walked, and singled. I'd have to think that if this was real life, either Pavletic or Shamsky would have already bitten the dust by now, so to speak, right? Here's the pitch to Shamsky. 4-11 lefty is a fly to left field X. That's going to be Tolan. Another chance for Tolan, a 3E15. Here's the play on a 19, a fine running catch by Tolan. Wow, that was close to end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. He played 6 innings, 5-3 Reds. And that's going to be the end of the day for Bob Gibson. He just did not have it today. Winds up going 6 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs. Wow. He walked 5. Struck out just 4. Cardinals will send up a hitter to start off the 7th. Don Notabart, who's been ready, will come on. No, wait a minute, that's Cincinnati. We need a pitcher for, we need a pitcher for St. Louis. Due up 2 righties and a lefty. We have a lot of lefties out here. A lot of lefties. They're going to bring in Kurt Simmons. I don't know why. He's got innings. Their only real righty is Stallard, who I have no confidence in a close game. And let's see who's going to bat against O'Toole to lead things off. They have a similar problem in that they have a lot of lefties on the bench. They're going to bring up Phil Gagliano, who pinch hit in this game in real life. So Gagliano will lead off the seventh. O'Toole in his second endurance inning. And thank you for that, Kenyon. Wow, that's impressive. Here's Gagliano. Let's see what he's done in the replay. Just 4 for 20 so far. Does not have a home run. Here's the pitch from O'Toole. That's a 3-9 lefty. It's a grounder to short. Buchek has it and throws, Buchek. Cardenas has it and throws him out. That'll turn the lineup over. The batter will be Javier. Javier 0 for 3 today. Hit it to short all 3 times. O'Toole with the windup on the pitch. That's a 1-7 lefty. Base hit up the middle. Javier with his first hit of the afternoon. He's got speed. Star 16-0 battery. He'll be held at 14. Shannon will hit against the lefty. Shannon 1 for 3, had a big RBI double in the 5th. Notabart ready behind O'Toole. Here's O'Toole from the stretch. Pitch to Shannon is a 4-3 right-handed. It's a base hit into right field, an open single. Javier can go for third. He's a 16. They're sending him. And the Reds will cut the throw off, keeping Shannon to first. Shannon representing the tying run. That's a no-brainer. And Shannon will have to be held at first, held as a 13 with a 0 battery. One more hitter walk now will fatigue O'Toole. Notabart is ready. Meeting on the mound. And they're not going to wait for him to fatigue. Don Hefner thinks he's seen enough already, and he's motioning with his right arm to the pen. That's going to bring Don Notabart into the game to face Flood with 1 down. So O'Toole's day is done. He worked 6 1/3. He gave up 9 hits, 3 runs so far. First and third, his responsibility. He only walked 1 and struck out 3. Here's Notabart getting loose now. Let's check his stats. He's been in 15 games, 0-1 with a save, a 5.66 ERA, 21 innings of work. Exactly, Franklin. He was not a Bart. I have a good friend named Bart, actually. He always comes to mind. Not a Bart with a -3 hold, so that could change the complexion on Shannon. That would make Shannon a 12 at first base, so there's no need to hold him now. They will remain at double play depth with runners at the corners and one down. Kurt Flood 2 for 3 on the day. That was against the left-hander O'Toole, however, facing a righty for the first time. Not a Bart gets the sign from Edwards. The pitch to Flood is a 1-9 righty. It's a grounder down to third base B with the infield back. He's going to go down to Rose trying to get 2. However, Shannon comes in hard on the slide, and that's all they'll get as Javier crosses the plate to make it a 5-4 game. So it's a 5-4 force. Javier scores, an RBI credited to Flood. And the batter will be Orlando Cepeda. Cepeda 2 for 3 today. Tying run at first, there's 2 down. Not a Bart ready now. Here's the pitch to Orlando. 6-11 right-handed, and he loses him ball 4. A walk to Cepeda, and we'll be up to Charlie Smith. Smith 0 for 3 today. Came into the ball game hitting .317. Not a Bart gets the sign from Edwards. This is the big at bat in this game. The pitch to Smith. 3-8 right-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Going back is Johnson on the track, hauls it in on an 18, and the side is retired. Oh my goodness. What drama there. A 1-8 home run. But the roll on an 18 and the side is retired. The Cardinals settle for 1 on a pair of hits, and they leave a pair. As we stretch for the 7th, it's 5-4 Cincinnati. Here's Simmons coming on now. We'll take a short break here for the stretch. I'll top off my coffee. Let's see where Mookie is. Well, you know where he is. Right? Mookie. No, he's not gonna look. Stirred a little, but that's about it. Okay, one moment here. I play around with the blinds, and we're back. Simmons on the season. He's been in 5 games, 2 of them starts. He's 1-1 with a 5.06 in 16 innings of work. Also, you can see by his card that he'll finish the season with the Cubs. Simmons a lefty. He'll be facing Darren Johnson, Cardenas, and Edwards here in the bottom of the 7th. Okay, Simmons ready to go to work. Gets the sign from McCarver now. Here's the pitch to Johnson. It's a 3-12 lefty, high fly ball to deep left field. Tolan back, makes the catch on the track. Another high fly ball, but just a loud out for Johnson. Here's Cardenas now, 0 for 3. Cardenas at the plate. Simmons ready to work. The pitch is a 3-4 lefty. Grounder up the middle, cut off by Buchek, who turns and fires in time. Nice play, Buchek, 2 down, and here's Johnny Edwards. Left on left now as Simmons delivers. A 2-7, lazy fly ball into right field. Shannon drifts under it, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Kurt Simmons. We're through 7 in a very tight 5-4 game. Looking at the bullpen now for the Reds as Billy McCool takes off his jacket and begins throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. Notabart will begin the inning. Very likely will be on a short leash here. Tim McCarver will lead it off for St. Louis. He's 1 for 3 today as Notabart gets the sign. It's a 6-11 left-handed routine grounder to second base. Rose has it, easy play. Throws him out. 1 away. And here's Jerry Buchek. Buchek 0 for 2 with a walk. Notabart set into the windup. That's a 4-7 right-handed, and he loses him ball 4. Tying run aboard in the 8th, and here comes Hefner. He's wasting no time. He's calling down to the pen for McCool. And you can see why, just looking at Tolan's card here. Not that he's any great shakes against righties, but certainly better than he is against lefties. So that's 1 inning for Notabart. And close the book on O'Toole. Notabart no hits, but struggled with his control, walking 2. Did not strike out anybody. McCool, of course, the Reds' best pitcher. He's been in 11 games, no record but 6 saves, and an excellent 1.98 ERA in 14 innings of work. They're a real life save leader with 18. And they're going to call Tolan back now, so let's see what Shane Dienst is going to do. He's going to bring in, well, that's really no better, is it? I'm kind of surprised at that. That was not a good year for Alex Johnson. He'll bring in Lou Brock off the bench. He can pinch hit and take over in left field. Although he's even worse defensively than Tolan. He does, doesn't he, Franklin? So Lou Brock will get a chance to bat in this game. Runner at first, 1 down. Let's check Buchek's speed now. Buchek no threat at all to steal. McCool with a -3 hold. Left on left. He's ready to work now. Here's Brock. It's a 2-6. Struck him out. Brock down on strikes. And now we'll have to have a batter for Simmons. Tying run at first, 2 away. Simmons worked a 1-2-3 seventh. Let's see what's left on the bench. Not a lot, I can tell you that. It won't be Corrales. He's the last catcher. Really only one decent option here for the Cardinals. That's Ed Spezio. Yeah, we're going to check this in a second, but I cannot remember using Spezio. Cardinals in their 33rd game of the season. Oh, he's been used. He's 1 for 3. All 3 at-bats coming as a pinch hitter. 2 down, runner at first. Here's Spezio now, facing Billy McCool. McCool from the stretch. Pitch to Spezio is a 3-10. It's a foul ball behind the plate. Edwards back and makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, a man left. McCool comes on and does the job. And now we're going to need a new pitcher for St. Louis. Probably should have double switched with McCool. You got to figure McCool's going to stay in the game. So you've got, he's a right-handed batter. Helm's a righty. Same tough situation for St. Louis, who just does not have a good right-handed reliever in their pen. So they're going to go to Woodashik, who's become a favorite of mine in this replay. How many remember the Woodashik game? It's one of those, either you know it or you don't, right? He's worked in 6 games, 2-1 with a 2.13 in 13 innings of work. The Reds want McCool to finish it. He's their best option, so he's going to bat. He's a right-handed hitter. The pitch from Woodashik is a 5-10 righty. It's a grounder to third base. That's a tough play for Smith. A 3-18. Here's the play. On a 16, he makes the play and throws him out. Nice play, Charlie Smith. The batter will be Tommy Helms. Helms 2 for 4 today. Woodashik gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Helms. We got a dice down as he fouls one straight back. We'll do it again as Woodashik rubs up a new ball. Here's the pitch to Helms. 2:11 left. He gets a little comebacker. Woodashik has it. Flips to Cepeda, and there's 2 down. That'll bring up Rose. Rose will bat right-handed against Woodashik. Here's the windup on the pitch. It's a 6-7 right-handed, and Rose bangs a base hit up the middle. So a 2-out single for Rose. 2 walks and 2 singles for Rose today. That'll get Pinson to the plate. It's 5-4 Reds, bottom of the 8th. Woodashit gets the sign from the stretch. The pitch to Pinson. 4-6 left-handed. He pops him up. Buchek will make the catch, and that's the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left through 8 innings of play. Reds lead it 5-4. Check the Reds' defense now. Tommy Harper will take over for Shamsky, but he'll play left. (2E2+1). Johnson will be replaced in right field by Mel Queen. You might remember in the last game against these two teams, I was looking for a defensive replacement and forgot all about the computer-only Queen. Is a good outfielder, 2E4 with a 0 arm. Not much you can do about first base. Perez and Coleman not any better. So a very tight 5-4 lead for Cincinnati as we go to the 9th inning. Very strange game today. I want to thank everybody for watching. He did, Joel, and welcome. Queen pitched as well. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure which he did better. I know he gave up one for the other. I kind of want to say he gave up hitting to pitch full time. I could be wrong. But I'm not. Thank you, Kenyon. I remember him as a pitcher vaguely. I don't remember him as a hitter. By the defensive rating, apparently he was a very good outfielder. Probably not much of a hitter. He's batted a few times in this replay. And he's just 1 for 16. Billy McCool trying to notch the save. He'll be facing the top of the order for St. Louis. Very much in this game, not over. Wow, even better than I thought, Kenyon. Thank you for the research. That is very impressive. Javier 1 for 4 on the day. McCool staring in to get the sign from Edwards. Here is the pitch to Javier. It's a 3-5 lefty. It's a ground ball to short. Routine play for Cardenas, who throws him out, and there's one away. Mike Shannon will be the hitter with 1 down. Mike is 2 for 4 today. RBI double back in the 5th. McCool looking for his 7th save of the season. Here's the windup. Pitch to Shannon. 3-9 lefty. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Cardinals are down to their last out. And it'll be Curt Flood. Flood 2 for 4 on the day. Orlando Cepeda looming on deck. McCool, very deliberate now. Deep breath. Here's the windup and the pitch to Flood. It's a 5-4 righty, a grounder to third base X. Tough chance for Helms, 2E19. Here's the play. He's got it. Throws him out, and that's the game. 5-3X, 1-2-3 inning for McCool. Retired all 5 batters he faced. 5-4 Reds is your final, and I will have the totals for you in just a minute. That was a good game, yeah. But it was kind of a weird one, too. I mean, if you're like me, I'm sure you were looking forward to a vintage dominant Gibson performance. We did not get that, but we did get a pretty good ball game. Two strikeouts for McCool. As mentioned, he notches the save, his 7th. O'Toole with the win, improved to 3-2. Gibson takes the loss. His record now 6-3. Woodashik in his inning, 1 hit. No walks, no strikeouts. That's okay, Ben. And let's see. Franklin likes Darren Johnson's home run for player of the game. That's a good choice. Several worthy candidates. Pavletic, Shamsky, or Johnson. Maybe even McCool. The totals on the game for the Reds: 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors. St. Louis, 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. Their error did not factor in any scoring. Honestly, I don't see a clear player of the game. I see 3 or 4 solid candidates. Anyone else care to chime in? We've got a vote for Pavletic, a vote for Johnson. While you're contemplating that, I'll look ahead on the schedule. I'll probably just split it between Johnson and Pavletic. Both had 2-run homers, which were big. Tomorrow's game will have Philadelphia Phillies at Houston Astros. Jim Bunning takes the mound for the Phillies, Barry Latman for the Astros. Sure, why not, Kenyon? 1-3, it's Pavletic. 4-6, it's Johnson. It will be Darren Johnson with the player of the game. How democratic can we be? He did have the game-winning hit. So kind of a weird one here today. And yeah, I'm going to get myself something to eat. Tomorrow, Philly at Houston, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. Join me for that. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys once again for hanging out with me. It's been fun. I want to wish you all a pleasant good evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I'll talk to you later.